Alright, I'm Sam.
I'm Adam.
And it has been quite a while since we recorded a podcast, and it's
like
definitely not 2022 when we're recording our final 2021 wrap-up podcast.
Not at all. Don't worry about when. It's snowy outside. That's all you gotta know, okay?
Is it really, though?
No, it's not at all.
It's been like 60 degrees every day this week.
Yeah, no.
Thanks, climate change.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, in the year of our Lord 2022, it's about dang time we look back at all the records that we felt were disappointments from last year, and the songs that really were the bangers, the best tunes of last year, as well as comparing our picks and judging other publications' best of lists. Because I have some contentions. I'm sure you do.
Oh,
too.
I definitely have some contentions.
I guess we're not going to do what we've been listening to because it's pointless.
I mean, I'll tell you what I've been listening to. Basically everything that's on our soon-to-be released best albums of 2020 effort.
You keep telling yourself that, but
yeah. So that's what I've been listening to. So you can go listen to our cast on that if you are curious as to what we've been listening to so far.
No, I'm listening to that too. Specifically, I've been giving the Sadness record a lot more love.
Yeah.
Wow, that one really good.
Yeah, really good.
All right, what category do you want to start with?
I guess you started it off with disappointments, so we might as well start with disappointments in real time.
All right, yeah. I mean, look, every year bands you love release records, and every year some of the records just aren't quite as good as they should be. And as far as huge disappointments, I don't really have any oh man, I wish this one was better.
Yeah, no. There are too many that are really, really, really piss poor.
Yeah, it's only any of these bands release their Diabolus and Musica or whatever. It's just not as good as their previous projects. And especially with a few of these, I don't know. All right, I guess just top to bottom, Idols released a record this year, and
it's Crawler.
It's Crawler because it really just crawls along and remains uninteresting throughout.
I mean, I gotta give it some credit. It kind of pushes the boundary a little bit more than Ultramono does in some places, but I still don't think that makes it anywhere close to Joy or Brutalism.
Yeah, I mean, I have to ask myself, am I just too old for this music? Because when we got really into Idols in 2018, right? We were, a lot has happened since then, and I've listened to quite a lot more punk and more music since then, and I just wonder if maybe this this very direct poppy form of post-punk just isn't for me anymore.
Yeah. I can understand that, yeah.
I don't know. I honestly think Ultramono is a better record than Crawler. It got all this love, and everyone's like, it's so experimental. Their band's really pushing the envelope. And while I do agree, they take some risks, and I think they mostly pay off. It's just the songs aren't there, and it feels like Idols paint by numbers with a little bit of electronic influence.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, even a song like Beachland Ballroom for how grandiose and groundbreaking, I don't know, that song has been written a million times before by bands other than Idols, and it doesn't sound any different.
Yeah, and it's it's always, I think I used to think about it a lot when I was younger. It's oh man, all these bands they they only have one front man and one sound, so how much can you really listen to them?
Right.
And I guess that's why I listen to a lot of music. But I feel Joe Talbot, great vocalist, and definitely works for Idols, but he really is a two-note person.
Yeah.
And he either has his more menacing talk speak or his throat shredding post-punk vocals, and that's it.
Yeah.
And especially once we've heard 4 full lengths at this point in a relatively short amount of time, and it just feels kind of.
They need to take a break. I don't know. They gotta reassess.
Yeah, I mean, we say this, and they're actually the biggest punk band in the world right now. So what? Who cares what we think?
Very true. Still a disappointment for a fan.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Speaking of disappointments for fans, so the Deer Hunter released their first new music in 4 years last year. The Indigo Child EP, which is just the soundtrack EP for the like short film that Casey made with 2 original songs, one of which is a reprise of another song, and I don't know, this thing sucks ass.
No, it's not good. This is not what I want Deer Hunter to be making. Not to say that it doesn't have a little bit of merit. I mean, it's cool, I guess, but no, I don't want this. This is not.
Well, like, I understand that like they just literally just had the songs for a soundtrack and they released it, but and like the soundtrack songs are fine, but it's not like it's a it's not like a full record.
Right.
And the two originals here are just like actively bad. Like, I don't know. I'm interested to see Sally Mae, I think, or Aunt May, or I think that's. I forget the exact name of their full length that's coming out in a few months, and I'm excited to listen to that. But like these 2 like full songs with vocals and whatnot aren't good at all, and it was kind of disappointing to hear.
Yeah.
Up next, what's the next disappointment, Adam?
I mean, I guess we can kind of say that we were disappointed by the new Big Brave album. Which is a big and bold statement, because I don't think this is a bad album by any means. In fact, I think it's a rather great. I think it's a great album, but it does run the game of being incredibly similar to its predecessor.
Yeah, like incredibly similar. And like, don't get me wrong, this is actually pretty good. Every time I listen to this, I enjoy it. It's well done. It's well composed. It's well produced. All that jazz. And, you know, their other record this year, the collaborative record, is probably, like, one of the best records of the year, in our opinion. Yeah. But, yeah, this thing sounds note for note, like, almost identical to, what, is it Muted Shift of Space?
A Gaze Among Them. Muted Shifting of Space, the first song. But, no.
Sorry, A Gaze Among Them. It is uncanny.
And, I don't know, like... Not that we expect anything, I guess, too much more from Big Brave, but like, it's just it was rather strange to hear going into it, you know, a new year, a new album, and it's pretty much exactly the same structure and execution as the last one.
Yeah, and not say it's not well done. It's just a little disappointing that it's not at least a little different.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
They released 2 great records this year, and I mean, I hope they come back for more. But this one, just change it up a little bit on the next one. That's all we ask.
Yeah, that's all we gotta say. Speaking of artists that change it up a little bit, I think the new Lingua record is just ass. Like, it's like so unbelievably mediocre. I've listened to this record like 6 times, and I don't think I've thoroughly enjoyed it a single time. It's just about an hour and a half of music that kind of goes nowhere, and it's certainly well composed, well produced, and like Kristen has a good ear for songcraft and whatnot. It's just the record's very, very boring, and I don't understand the amount of praise this thing has gotten. I just don't.
Every time, actually, I gotta say, going into the end of the year and seeing the social media really just kind of like explode for praise for this again, it did kind of make me reassess. And I'm listening to, like, on Instagram stories, like, people, like, putting snippets from these songs, and they're like, wow, this is such an epic climax, this is so good, and I'm like, I'll show you one better, okay? I'll show you a million better. I don't know. You're right. This thing just doesn't go hard enough.
And like the songs are so meandery and they go nowhere. Like, some of these tracks are 9 minutes of like one drum loop with like various different neoclassical instrumentation, while Christian does, the same like delivery we've heard a million times at this point, and it just does nothing for me. I don't know.
I have returned to this album far less than I have her previous, and I think it's going to stay that way. The tracks are just not here. Like the the incredible emotive moments that are present on Caligula just don't show themselves at all. Like the biggest song, like Man is a Spring Flower or whatever. I think that's what it is. Man is like a spring flower. Like that song is supposed to be like the real climax on the record, and it just builds on this one meandering, as you said, loop for the last 4 minutes of the song. And it really goes absolutely nowhere. It just builds and repeats itself for 4 minutes as like more choir vocals just get packed on for literally 4 minutes. Like that's just it just swirls, and I don't know. It's cool, but it really doesn't explode into anything or end with anything that really makes it worthwhile. So it just kind of falls flat on itself, and I think that unfortunately that is most of the record's fault at that.
Yeah, I agree. I guess we've never spoken about this because it happened after our last podcast, but in the times since, I guess we've gotten more context about this record. Yeah, as sort of a response to the actions of a Daughter's frontman, Alexis Marshall.
Which, yeah, I mean, I do think that helps recontextualize it a little bit, but doesn't make it any better.
We should probably also mention those because it's pretty.
Did we mention? I'm trying to think back about. No,
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did either. Yeah. Okay. That's probably, yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, PSA, putting it on screen now, although I'm not going to do that in post because I'm way too lazy. But PSA, this is your trigger warning for intense discussions. Yeah, no, as a blog who has previously hailed Daughters and the artists behind said enterprise, we do not support the actions and or Sam, help me, I'm faltering.
Okay. Well, basically, make a long story short, Alexis Marshall has been a serial abuser, a sexual abuser, domestic violence committer, and probably exacerbated by excessive drug use for the past 20 years or so. And this only really came to like international light after Kristen gave a pretty long detailing of the actions that he committed against her in their relationship. And I guess this is just kind of public knowledge. We're in the scene we're sort of from. We're from like northern New England, and I know several people who have been involved in the Providence noise heavy music scene for years. And I guess it was just sort of generally known that Lex was a piece of shit and was dealing with these things, and it just never spilled over into like broader consciousness. But I don't know. It's pretty earth shattering, heartbreaking. I feel horrible for all the victims that the man abused over the years, including Kristen, and it's incredibly brave for her to come forward. It's very disappointing that Daughters has been one of my favorite bands for a long time, and some of their songs have meant and works have meant quite a lot to me, and I know countless others, and so it's really horrific when someone behind this really powerful art just turns out to be a horrific individual and in such a storied history of it too.
Yeah, I mean, kill your idols, because time and time again, we just keep having history repeat itself, where some of our favorite artists and musicians who do, rightfully perform some of the most intense and, I guess, emotionally charged music, but there comes a point where you gotta keep that to yourself, and it sucks. It's horrible what happened to each and every one of the people involved, but we kind of got to move forward. And hey, you know what? That music is still some of my favorite to ever be put onto tape, but I kind of got to retire it. I gotta tuck.
Yeah,
I gotta tuck the daughter's shirt in the corner, never to be seen
no,
again.
I have my daughter's shirt just like sitting over there in my room, and like I'm not gonna wear it probably ever again. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, separate the art from the artist. Everyone has their own metric for if you want to still listen to the band, if you want to still support the band, you know, that's your prerogative. But at least for me, I don't know if I'll be able to really go back to the artist after knowing this.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just like, how the fuck did nobody speak about this ever? Like, it makes too much sense. Like, of this dude who's had constant battles with like, you know, drug addictions, and like has this publicly edgy persona and has horrific relationships with all of his bandmates. They break up twice because of him and then get back together, and then a bunch of shit happens that like is kind of weird. And how did nobody at any point that was involved in this be like, hey, this guy has done all this? And like, so nobody. And it's just,
it's frustrating.
Man. It's really disappointing. Me and you had a conversation over the summer when Lingual's record dropped. We were like, okay, like Alexis S. of Marshall definitely like abused her, right, or like something, and it's gonna come out in a few months, and it's gonna be horrible, right? And we were just both kind of like, that probably happened. And if you know, we're not horribly educated on this subject, and if we were able to surmise that, I'm sure the people who knew him or who knew the band would have known at a point before this. So I just can't believe no one else made it public knowledge. So that's a pretty big disappointment in of itself.
Yeah, no, it's really troubling, especially since we did kind of sense it and then just kind of forget about it until it really came out, because I certainly did. You know, because when the record came out, I was like, okay, her and him are not together anymore. She wrote all this stuff. You know, he put out his own record. She's on it, but he's not on her record, but he was on the EP. What's going no, I don't know. It's really unfortunate. And I don't know. It's a learning experience, I guess, for the community at large to be more observant, see something, say something.
Yeah, I mean, artists should do better.
Yeah. Artists.
Anywho. Bulb's solo LP was quite a disappointment.
Yeah, you know what, dude? I'm sorry. Maybe we're too old for this music, Sam.
Dude, okay, thing is, I listen to like Golden Age Gent or like Periphery, even like Haunted Shores, and that shit fucking rips, right? And this record even has like bangers. Like I love the like Breeze or Fluff, which are just like reduxes of previous Bulb tracks. But like we know Misha can do this shit perfectly. Yeah. So the fact that he decided to like make his debut solo record after releasing like 9 compilations, just basically be like 3 or 4 good instrumental Gent songs, and then just like long form, like kind of boring stuff, is mind-boggling.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Misha's one of the best Gent songwriters out there. He has been consistently. I mean, even going back to like even P4,
2004, dude.
Like, well, no, 2004, but like even go jump recently to P4. Like, those songs are still airtight. Like, we had that album on our album of the year list. Like, those songs still rip as hard as ever. But like, I don't know. This is not it. Not it.
This, yeah, a little surprising, but I honestly thought this would be like a slapper, because like Misha just has a crazy good track record with this sort of thing. Even like Animals as Leaders and like Joy of Motion, which he like helped write and produce, like are both awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Anywho, Gojira's record, we did a whole podcast on that.
Yeah, you can go listen to that one.
Yeah, wow, that not good. Very not disappointing. Good.
And
it, once again, blows my mind that the collective metal community was like, hey, this is amazing.
I mean, even still, like, we're at the end of the year, and I can't tell you how many, like, I'll tell you exactly what the number one fucking user choice for the Banger TV poll was. I'll tell you. Gojira, number 1. So,
Lursai. Didn't Fantano even, like, give this an honorable mention or something?
Yeah, he did.
It's like, dude, this thing sucks ass. Like, what?
I don't know. I really can't rationalize it, especially when I see people online being like listing this above other albums in like a tier list of all their stuff. I'm like, I can't even look at it.
I don't understand. I mean, look, this record, I didn't see this take until a few months after it had come out, but it's literally just like the latest Sepultura record. Like, it sounds eerily similar to that, and like that record sucked ass and got basically no recognition for good reason. And I don't understand why Gojira's, everyone and their mother's like, this is the pinnacle of heavy music. Like, I just don't get it.
No, I don't get
like,
it.
I spoke to Ian Chaney of Stereogum and a few other things like last month, and I mentioned this specifically, and he was like, hey man, I don't get it. And he brought up the fact that like the most successful like hard rock record of any year is some random butt rock group you've never heard of. And like Gojira have hit a point where they can appeal to both like Brooklyn elitists like us and like butt rock listeners. So yeah. Good for them.
I guess good for them.
Another disappointment. This is a band probably not too many people are familiar with, but Demon Snipe's debut.
Yeah, no, this is certainly an interesting... I don't know, who knows? Our listener base is pretty well versed. They might know of this weird, obscure Belgian Instagram project. I don't know. Demon Snipe... This record had promise. I think it still does have promise.
Yeah, it's like, as you listen... So, there's a fairly popular Instagram meme page called Page for Music Chads, run by a dude, and this is that dude's band, amongst other things.
Yeah.
And it's like a pretty kind of odd combination of post-rock, noise rock, and like shoegaze, and I guess electronic music.
Yeah, it's kind of... I guess it really is kind of like taking Swans and throwing it through an electronic filter, and then just like, I guess, making it really droney. Particularly shoegazy droney. Yeah,
and look, this thing has some good moments, and all in all, it's like pretty competently done. It's just like I'd expect more, and there are no like real standout tracks here. Like everything is a pretty comfortable like 6.
Yeah, no, there really isn't like anything that goes too hard for me. Like the beginning pretty much ends, or the beginning opens up the same way it ends. Like it's a very not one note well, I guess it is a one note record, but it does do a lot throughout its singular note that it tackles. It's cool.
I feel like if the band, can use this aesthetic, which is pretty cool aesthetic and like great better songs, I'll definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, new music coming 2022.
Sure, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe even quite good.
Yeah. Poppy. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what though? Hold on. This is we have to be careful with our words here, because you know what? I really like the NXT soundtrack.
Yeah, the NXT soundtrack is like uncannily good.
Yeah.
But Poppy's new full length, which I literally forget, it's Flux, I think.
Yeah.
Very fairly disappointing.
Yeah. No, Flux.
It's not like
it's an okay record. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not actively bad. It's like a pretty comfortable 6 out of 10. But I Disagree is really quite good, and she's released so many good singles and like projects since that, and I was like, oh, I'm excited to see this. And said she just dropped like the most alt rock record that ever alt rocked. It's like, it's stupidly alt rock.
Yeah, it's not great, but I guess you gotta appreciate Poppy's hustle.
Yeah, I mean, and she's ginormous now.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah.
Stupidly popular. So good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, I'm honestly these next two I honestly think are quite good, but I know you'd probably have some reservations about them.
I wouldn't call Paysage Divers Geister a disappointment, but it is, in my opinion, far less of what I want in my black metal than Imwald was. I mean, I granted, I am a sucker for my nice 20-minute long Atmo Black song.
Winter.
Something about the 70 minutes of just straight kind of like mid-pace, like 90s worship, it wasn't all that for me. And maybe maybe it is just because it is just the 90s worship of the mid-pace black metal and nothing else.
I think you just sort of recontextualize it as like, because I wouldn't say it's so straight up 90s worship, because there's like a fair amount of like industrial influence and like even like harsh noise influence in here, and the whole thing really stands tall as just like a statement of incredibly oppressive black metal that like is like a straight line for 70 minutes, and it's all done quite well because, you know, obviously our dude, the man behind the mask, can do this stuff quite well, but it's not an enjoyable record. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't stand out in any way for me, where like a record like Imwald, or even like their debut, because their long history of demos has, because like, I don't know, even go back to like their self-titled demo, where like, I don't know, there's only 3 songs. There's so many moments that I could pick out from that, and I can't really pick shit out from here.
Yeah, no, I feel that. That being said, I don't think it's a bad record. I think it's actually quite good. It's yeah, I don't know. It's probably not as good as the other stuff.
Right.
All right. Next up, Sing with Sugabog.
I mean, you have it's kind of the same, not exactly the same, but yeah,
they're sort of like, you know, the new face of like that maggot stomp brand of like old school death metal worship, where it's the simplest possible caveman riffs with like death metal tropes, just like ad nauseum. And honestly, I think this record's like, for what it is, I think it's pretty artfully done, but it probably doesn't deserve the hype.
I don't think it deserves the hype. I mean, it is a modern and like mainstream slam record.
I wouldn't say it's slam.
Well, all right, fair enough. It's not total slam, but it's a mainstream grug metal fucking record, and for that, I gotta give it props. But
and like, what's funny about this group is like everyone in the band, or I guess Cameron Box is no longer in the band, but everyone in the band sort of knows exactly what they're doing. Because if you listen to the other projects these guys are in, it's like the sickest fucking bizarre ass slam you've ever heard in your life. And you listen to this band, and it's very clearly like, okay, they're writing very simple riffs and very simple songs that are just like very quiche, and for that, it's well done. And I saw these guys on their first Boston show. Actually, not the first, but I saw them in Boston like last month, and at a show that was ended up getting rained out because of something which I think I talked about it. And you know, they were great live. It was really fun. And I think as sort of like leading the pack, you know, I really think 200 Stab Wounds are amazing. I think that record's awesome. I think Frozen Soul are good, but I don't know. This isn't incredible, but it is good at what it does.
Yeah. I think it's it's a fine modern death metal album with some funny influence, and like, I don't know, like I really can't stand the slam tone, but like I know people love hearing that garbage can. So.
Oh yeah, or like when I saw them live, they like the one guitarist used, gosh, well, obviously you got, you know, it was like the most metal zone town ever. Metal tone ever. Yeah. That's a hard one. But he used like 2 like pretty famously like shitty amps.
Yeah.
On both ways, and like I don't know, the tone was like perfect, and I think as far as this record goes, like it really does accomplish what it sets out to do, but it's not incredible. That's do you know what record does not accomplish what it sets out to do? Is Soen's new record. I don't even remember what it's called, if that gives you any indication.
Imperial. Like, look, okay. Again, this album has merit. Soen has merit.
Yeah, there are some great moments here. It's just like Lotus was so goddamn incredible, and this record really isn't. And even like Lycaea or Tolarian or Rhino album are all like, I feel like, better than this record.
Yeah,
it just feels like it feels like they really just like shit it out, and it feels like they're just recycling the ideas from the past 2 record in a really not effective way.
No, and I mean,
and the production's so much worse on this record.
The tones are worse. The vocal performances are worse. Like everything, it's just worse now than it was. I don't know what happened, but something changed in the band's songwriting. Not even nothing changed in the band's songwriting. It's the same record but worse. That's all it is, and worse production too. Like there, I don't know what happened. I really don't. I can't explain it. Cause like a song like Monarch or even Lumerian are like okay, but as you just continue down the track list, and like that first single Antagonist is not good.
Yeah,
Like
no, I generally agree.
I'm tired of the alt metal thump, dude. Like come on.
Yeah, it's been 10 years since like Gent became. Actually, it's been more. It's been like 13, 14 years since Gent became a thing. Like move past the really like simple like percussive patterns, please.
Yeah.
The last one here is for Hospital Bracelet, because I actually love their debut record quite a bit, and it's a shame that their front person, Eric, is kind of a piece of shit, and all that drama kind of unfurled, and so I'm just disappointed with that specifically.
Yeah.
But the record itself is great. Every time I go to Bull Moose, close to where we live, I see a like pastel pink version of it for like $15. I'm like, man, I kind of want to get this, but like,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, do you have any other notable disappointments that I haven't listed here?
None that I'm too disappointed with. I mean, I wish that like there was, I don't know. This year had a weird. I had a weird relationship with much of the music that came out in this year. Like I don't feel the way that I do about an album like Palimpsest, or that I did feel about about Bible songs, or at one point you don't get what you want. Like you know.
No, I know. I totally agree with you. Like there are no just like emphatic like fuck yes. Like I listen to this thing all day long. Every moment's awesome. This like really connects with me on a personal level. It was more just like, okay, this is clearly good music. I'll listen to it quite a bit, but like it's not like it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, nothing really stood out to me this year. So I guess I
mean, we also listened to substantially less music, or we keep on saying this year in 2021. We listened to substantially less music because, you know, I was just working so much.
Existing. Yeah.
And like it's much harder to listen to like, you know, 100,000 minutes of music when
you're not stuck inside for, you know, a year.
But I mean, there were still a lot of incredible releases. I just wish I felt like more of like a, you know, like an immediate oh fuck yeah.
Yep. I think that's a lot of what it is. Like there's still a ton of great music, and there is stuff here that does make me go fuck yeah. But like yeah, it is in my opinion a little too far, few and far between, and they just don't reach the same highs. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know, something in the air.
But there was, as like we said, a lot of great music, some incredible songs even. You could say.
Yeah, no, some really utterly great compositions. Yeah. We have a playlist here on Spotify with like what 70 songs.
There's
65. Songs. So you know, I'm not going to go through all these bit by bit, but I'll highlight the ones which I felt like were pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, I'll start it off with a song, which I know Adam will definitely love. This is "Pick It Up" by Jeff Rosenstock.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
It's off his remix record Ska Dream, where he made ska versions of every song from his record No Dream last year. One of my favorite songs last year was called Fame, one of the songs from No Dream, and the ska version, appropriately titled "Pick It Up," is also just incredible. And I listened to this song way too much this year. Not afraid to admit it. I got the thing on vinyl like 2 days ago in checkerboard pattern. I'll have you know. So yeah, and that's my first shout out for just amazing compositions.
Yeah, it is a good composition. Not my favorite, but I will say Jeff Rosenstock sure knows how to do the same thing and then change it completely and still do the same thing, but with a brand new flair. So good, good for Jeff. My God. Yeah, no, I mean, good song. do I have any punk bangers? I mean, in the same similar vein, without so much reggae influence, but still some awesome horn usage. We've got Black Country New Road. I think pretty much any one of these songs could, be slotted pretty easily into the best songs of the year list.
I'd probably pick Sunglasses,
but I'd probably pick Sunglasses too, or Opus, because I think the progression on that song is pretty darn good. Yeah, I mean the awesome klezmer influences with the kind of classic, but also modernized post-punk from the Britland. I mean, these guys are awesome. Like, their new album is going to be an interesting experience, but, like, this first record for the first time, I don't know, pretty much all the songs are just pretty
amazing. A lot of really good moments, too, Like, there are a lot of very memorable aspects to these tracks, which is something, when you listen to so much, like, atmospheric black metal, it definitely matters.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, speaking of atmospheric black metal, Jesus Christ, White Ward's Devimore and Morty is just like,
yeah.
I had listened to the song once when it came out. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And I was just shuffling like a Spotify playlist or something on a drive home from work, and the song came on. I was like, oh my god.
No, it's great. They never miss. This song is, I mean, the other one on the EP, Embers, is good too, but like something about the title track on this just like fills you with so much like determination, and like it's, I don't know, it just makes you feel so powerful when you listen to this music.
Yeah, it's like maximalist. I'm gonna say progressive black metal.
No, you could say it.
These weird like this weird jazz influenced piano, horns, and like just really tight compositions, and so many. Once again, like. So many emphatic like fuck yeah it's here.
Yeah. And yeah, I even think the Borknagar feature on this track is well executed.
I agree. It's not something I thought I'd find myself saying, but here we are.
No, you're right. I mean, I think it's just it's a really cool short little EP that I think probably got made when they were gonna go on a US tour together in 2020, but
here we are.
dream shattered, and we have this EP. So
yeah,
that's good. The EP's great.
EP's good.
And listen to this song. It's awesome. You know what also is an awesome fucking song? Any of the songs on the Knocked Loose EP.
Yeah, Jesus. Like. The more it just gives. I got I ordered the vinyl version of this the day it came out because I was like, okay, whatever. I'll get this sick like blood red, and it's like engraved with like weird runes. Looks awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, every time I listen to it, it keeps giving. All the breakdowns here are great. You got the classic Knocked Loose, like just moments of being the sickest fucking shit ever.
Yeah.
Really heavy. Sounds really good. The fact that they're able to use like this Beach Boys sample and turn it on its head is very clever, and it's like a nice logical evolution for the band. I think specifically Where Light Divides the Holler is probably the hardest hitting banger, but they're all good.
I think that I think Where Light Divides the Holler just opens up the record with such intensity that like you're just not expecting. Like at all, especially after the sample stays quiet for like a whole minute.
Yeah, totally.
It's just so hard hitting. But yeah, no, I mean, I think pretty much all the songs in this record could be nominated for the goated song. I know that like technically God Knows has the most plays, but like I don't know, they're all incredible. They're all sick. Even the grindcore track.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's all quite well done.
Yeah.
A surprising pick I have up here is the song Donna by Darko US.
Oh my god. Hey, well, you can handle Darko.
Yeah, well, so Darko's debut, I mentioned a few times, I'm sure it's well known. It's just a pretty, like, comprehensive take on, like, the new popular style of deathcore, like, new deathcore. And it has, like, a few songs which are, like, more, like, straight-up progressive metal, like, ballads, kind of. And Donna is one of those, and I would never think that I'd put a progressive metal ballad on this list, but oh my god, this song is uncannily well executed. Like, it sounds amazing. Vocal performances are great. The whole thing is just like really cleverly executed. Has wonderful guitar tones. Has good builds and climax, and the chorus is probably one of my favorites of the year.
No, I mean, like,
it's kind of funny, but it really is good.
No, it is pretty good for what it is. And like, yeah, I have heard this song for a particular reason a lot more than I should have, but like, yeah, no, I mean, it's a good composition. Like, it's a decent progressive metal ballad from like a pretty good modern new deathcore band.
Yeah, I wish Tom Barber wasn't like a cunt, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, so like, I know that I wasn't really into, and I'm still not super duper into Backwash, but a couple of tracks on this record really do it for me.
Yeah, I know, I fully agree.
Like, the final track with the Godspeed You sample is just incredible. And
Yeah.
like the title track too is just so hard hitting.
No, I agree. Or Terror Packets too is
Yeah.
other banger. Like, yeah, it's like that nice blend of like fairly aggressive, but fairly catchy and competently written. Like, I guess alternative hip hop that just when it hits, it hits.
Yeah.
And these songs are great. Really, really, really good tunes. I've definitely had them on repeat.
Yeah, no, me too. Just like this.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
I mean, I'll tie it in with like the two Peggy tracks from his new record that really stuck out to me are Trust and Bald. Just like really fun, really catchy, exemplify the best of what he's done. It's just like I think Bald came out at the start of the year, and I've had it on repeat since. Like, it's just really, really well done. Really cool sample, really fun bars, great delivery. Peggy's great.
Yeah. No, it's super duper fun. Like, I wish I could say more, because I wish I did listen to Peggy a little bit more, but I mean, the music's super fun. He's a great songwriter. He really knows how to hype, even when you're sitting in your room alone, tied to a chair, listening through headphones. Like, I don't know, he's still able to captivate.
Yeah, totally.
And give you a good time. Just like, Between the Buried and Me, they love giving you a good time. And
yeah, I think Colors 2 is quite a good record.
Yeah.
There are definitely a few highlights for me. Like, the two singles, surprisingly, Fix the Hour and Revolution in Limbo are just pretty amazing. Like, Fix the Hour is just, like, bizarre, like, more focused, like, prog epic track that they haven't done since, like, Alaska.
Yeah.
And works really well. And then Revolution in Limbo is, like, the best, like, I guess, post-Parallax BT Bam song, like, I've heard. It's just has... flows wonderfully. You get like all these really cool scale interplays, really nice hook chorus, which is also a tie back to like Parallax. You got this weird breakdown with Blake doing like harsh vocals, and the whole thing's just masterfully executed. I could also put Human as Hell up here because I think that's an amazing closer. But the whole record's really good, but these songs in particular, like, I'll throw them on alongside like Extremify Elite or Obfuscation, which is something I can honestly not say about anything off Automata.
Nope. Yeah, no. I totally agree with that sentiment. I mean, the only thing I might put is like
Voice of Trespass is in consideration, but then again, it's a little straightforward.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah. Do you know what isn't straightforward though?
Oh yeah.
Is Suffering Hours, The Foundations of Servitude.
This is another one. You know what? I think a lot of the tracks from this album could do it, but the final track on this record is just, I don't know, man. Like, when you've already been punched in the face for 40 minutes, and then there's another, like, 20 more minutes of getting punched in the face, like, that's just all collected into this one really intense psychedelic beast. I don't know, man. Like, Suffering Hours is just on another plane. Like,
Yes, no, seriously, this record's incredible.
It can't be
And
touched, and this song is incredible.
yeah, Foundations of Servitude really is just like a 16-minute swirling behemoth of just riffs on like melodic ideas, and the whole thing surprisingly works and remains engaging despite being esoteric as all hell, and it's great. Definitely, I think it's definitely like one of the best songs of the year.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Just like pretty much all the tracks on the Mere Cognitum record too. Solar Paroxysm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not basically any of them work here. It's like astounding how consistent that record is. Everyone is just like, all right, so you've heard maximalist atmospheric black metal before, right? What if I just did it perfectly?
Yeah, no,
it's just like if every song was a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could go right from the single Antaresian, which, a great opener to the album, and like absolutely sick single, just holding its worth on its own as an awesome black metal track. The final cut too, Ataraxia Tunnels, is just a really awesome triumph at the end of the record.
Yeah, no, I fully agree.
But yeah, no, they all could fit in there too. I think for most of the extreme metal, it's kind of difficult to pick out just one track from their record.
Yeah, I mean, because especially like for the really underground shit. Not that any of this stuff's incredibly deep anymore, but it's not exactly written like with structure in mind. It's not like these guys are trying to craft like razor hooks or whatever. It's really just like, all right, I'll make really good music and put it in an album. And these songs, they really function as an album, so it's hard to pick them out. But they're certainly highlights.
Yeah, and sort of in the same vein, you had just mentioned Panopticon, and I think a lot could be said for some of the tracks on the record he put out this year, even though we didn't. Actually, you know what? We kind of could have put that into. Well, no, I won't put that in Disappointments because we're not huge fans. But like
to reiterate our point on that record, Not Feelings, like. It's funny because the thing's incredible. Like, if you take any song on that in isolation, it's sick. It works perfectly, like, for what it is. Just really well executed black metal with some questionable mixing decisions, but well executed nonetheless. And then you put the things in context, and it's just a dirge. Like, it's utterly unlistenable.
Yeah.
Like, you listen to like 50, half of one song, this is pretty awesome. And you listen to the next song, and you're like, oh. And then you listen to the next song, and you're like, oh. And then it's 70 minutes long, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going. And every song is kind of black easy and has cool climaxes and good chord progressions, but it's just, Jesus Christ, it is droning. It's like
so
Hard Here
much.
for the Sky. Like, all those songs are amazing, and then you listen to it in context, and it's like,
yeah, it's just too much. It's too much, and when the room to breathe comes in like a 1 minute track, 40 minutes into the record.
Yeah, right.
So like, you could do the thing that like a band like this random, like, I don't know, you've probably seen this album online, but it's a band like Defacement. Like they have 8 tracks in their album, and like each one of their death metal tracks is like 10 minutes long, and they have it separated by a 1 minute interlude or whatever. Not saying follow that exact trajectory, because that's a little predictable and can get stale on its own, but like, I don't know, like, I know Austin Lunn has the capabilities of of organizing this.
What makes great black metal records, like what separates the good black metal records from the great black metal records, is the ability to pace itself, right?
Right.
That's something that makes like Love Exchange Failure so perfect. Is every song has all these little ups and downs within themselves, and yet the whole thing functions as a whole. And Austin and our boys in Harakiri could certainly learn from it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's all that really needs to be said there.
Yeah, seriously. So one song I will mention particularly as a song is the song "Long Distance Conjoined Twins." Has become somewhat of like an iconic track for the fifth wave of DIY emo by Home Is Where, and I think it's pretty goddamn amazing. It does like this nice juxtaposition of Neutral Milk Hotel folk punk with throat shredding like orchid worship, and it's incredibly well done and has managed to be catchy and cathartic and very, very heavy at the same time.
Yeah,
I will say the band is like very distinctly leftist, and I support all that stuff, but they fall into certain traps that I wouldn't necessarily agree with when it comes to like vocal backlash against other creators and other
Sure.
sources. But I mean, the record's still great, and the song "Long Distance Can Join Twins" is, I think, anthemic for this fifth wave of emo.
Yeah, no, I actually I agree with that. In bumping this album a bit toward the end of the year,
It's so good.
it is a really great record. And yeah, I think it's I don't listen to too much emo, but this seems like a good fit as a champion.
Very.
I guess in the same vein of single songs, actually, you know what I will talk about is the Flight of Sleipnir album, because I think that there are quite a few great songs in that record, even though that record isn't like the most breathtaking of everything we've ever seen. But like a couple of those tracks like really hit.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like Harvest is one of my favorite songs of the year.
Yeah, no.
It is a good record. It's just it's not incredible, you know.
Yeah, no. I mean, it didn't like absolutely blow my mind when I heard it, but like every one of these songs have a really nice build, and these guys know how to take a song, pull it back, and then really build it up to something intense. It's kind of it reminds me a lot of like Agalloch in the way that they array songs. I guess the progressive doom head
Riving forest.
But yeah, no, they write really nice sort of I guess crescendoing tracks that build nicely on one another.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I feel like we go on for quite a lot longer. Let's pick like two more for each of us, and then we can move on to our last
fair
section.
Enough. All right.
I guess I'll pick two non-metal songs because these songs have both really stuck out to me this year.
Sure.
Narrator by Squid is incredible.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like when Squid dropped their EP a few years ago, everyone was like, oh wow, this is like the next movement of like UK post-punk, and they sort of heralded the whole thing. And then they came in after the other two previous debuts from like the notable bands and dropped this record, Bright Green Field, which as a record I think has some flaws, but it's quite good. But a song like Narrator is just perfect. You got like 8 minutes of wicked sick post-punk slint build with absolutely brutal climax and performance towards the end, and the whole thing just sounds awesome and like feels very visceral and builds on itself in a really clever way in like a Good Morning Captain sort of sense.
Yeah, no, I haven't been able to get the song out of my head ever.
I play my
like I constantly find myself going back to this song. Yeah, it's sick.
Really wonderful,
really awesome tune. All right, I guess I'll jump on the Gravy Train with shit. What did I want to do? I had it. Oh, same vein, non-metal vein. Slow, Black Midi. I mean, that song is just actually kind of insane. And
yeah, no, an incredible
song.
Like first time I heard it, I like shit myself at like the climax where it's like I guess and like everyone, and then it comes back with like the horns and it's like wah!
No, it's
and then
such
you get,
a
like this
yeah, it's a great thrill ride. Like every member of the band is just working on everyone else's cylinders. They're running over top of each other. The chaos grows and builds and then completely shuts off and starts up again with, you know, really nice rhythmic, percussive, and bass-driven grooves, and it's just so funky. It's so fun. Everything about
classic
it is
give and take, amazing climax.
Yeah.
Like probably my favorite sax solo of the year.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, and when I saw them live, Cam changed all the lyrics just speaking about how the Yankees suck, and so the climax was, instead of I guess I'll wait, it was Yankees fucking suck, and it was pretty funny.
No, yeah, these
incredible tune.
Incredible tune.
I think I'm not going to mention this the first song because I think that's both our song of the year, and we can save that as a collective pick. After
Fair enough. Well, all right. So you did a non-metal. Do you want to pick some metal tunes too? Because if you want to do two non-metal, you already. Well, we both did a non-metal.
Yeah, I'll pick one. I'll pick one metal tune that has just been on my mind. I I'm gonna go with the incredibly difficult decision of Drone Corpse Aviator by Archspire. I mean, go to any metal website and they'll talk about how good this Archspire record is, and Drone Corpse Aviator is probably like the catchiest and most immediate song on it. And wow, it does the thing perfectly. Like I've had like the Drone Corpse Aviator stuck in my head for many days, and shit just rips. It just hits hard. Every aspect of hook. It's faster than anything ever. It's really heavy. It's just really good.
No, it's incredibly just gripping. Like no other album have I had to hold on to my seat and physically hold on for the ride. Like Drone Corpse Aviator is just one of many tracks that make this album just something truly great to listen to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No, great song. I guess there's so many to choose, but I gotta say, the singles from the Infinity Land record, I don't know. Those are my song of the year. Pretty much
James
anything
Franco.
that
Seth Rogen.
I will put specifically the last song, "The Sky Is Laughing at Us," as the best song on that record, and therefore I guess one of my favorite songs of the year. But like they all have different aspects of something that would make like a best song of the year. Because Harvest Lane is like a really awesome like I'm 14 style ballad where the sky is laughing at us, and the first track, Insect Fingers, are like really hard noise rock bangers. But like I don't know. Each one of these tracks just goes full send into what it's trying to do and accomplishes it with amazing certainty. And that goes for the song that they also put on a split through the Ghost is Clear records. And I'll even give their new singles some love, because they dropped some singles a couple of days ago that are not or like a week ago at this point. But they're not nearly, in my opinion, as good as the EP, but still great. But yeah, no, definitely those EP's songs were awesome.
Yeah, we keep doing this for quite a while. I'm just I guess I'll highlight, which is I just think are both collective song of the year.
Yeah.
And Nighttime Disguises by Leprous.
Yeah, I mean, Pitfalls was not the best album of 2019, but the best song of 2021 is Nighttime Disguises. So we came back. We came full circle.
Right, that was some nice unintentional. You said Pitfalls was not the best record of 2019, but The Sky Is Red is the best song of 2021.
Oh, did I? Well, Nighttime Disguise is the best song of 2021, but yeah, Apheliion's not the album. But no, I mean, I don't know, man. You task the Leprous community to tell Leprous what to play, and they'll tell them what to play, all right, because
it's hysterical that like the best Leprous song on the record is the one that was like fan written.
Yeah,
because like it's just Leprous doing every Leprous trope ever, it's perfect. Like this thing just rips. You have this amazing chorus. You got Bard playing in like 32-1 or whatever. You got all the syncopated guitars doing all these little embellishments. Some gorgeous cello work. You got some ooh. You got some ahs in there, and you even have like a progressive metal climax where Einar lets it rip one more time.
Yeah, he lets it
I remember
rip.
the first time I heard this song, I was just listening to Aphelion on a long drive, like kind of zoning out, and then I like heard like the second chorus, where they do like the prog metal thing where like it's just the vocals, then everyone comes back in and like it's more accented, and like I heard that and I was like, oh my god, this song's amazing. And then I heard Einar scream. I literally like stopped the car and I was like, holy shit, he did it again. And like I don't know, this like I've listened to the song like 35 times or something. Like it's probably just the best song of the year. It's my favorite song of the year. I don't know. Shit's awesome. Love it. I wish if Leprous dropped another record like this, the stars would probably align.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just kind of everything about the mid 2010 Leprous that I love to death. Like it's a perfect build into an awesome, like, and it still uses the art rock that it's been building on through the entire record to, like, kind of tastefully bounce between dynamics. It's just, it's incredibly well written and composed. I'm surprised at the fan write for how successful it was. You would never be able to tell. And yeah, no, I mean, it's incredible. It's great. The song just consistently has appeared in my listening ad nauseum over and over again. I'll literally put this song on repeat and just listen to it. I think that's how good it is. It's so much fun, and it does everything perfect.
If you like prog metal, this thing's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. We like I said, we could keep doing this for a long time because there's a lot of good music, a lot of good individual songs. But let's critique some other fucking picks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, look, the collective online metal community sometimes has horrific decisions, but sometimes they get a few things right.
Sometimes.
So firstly, let's start with Stereogum's year-end list, which has always been sort of a good representation of things.
I'd say.
They got Skepticism, Hooded Menace, Violet Cold, Misartham, Concrete Winds, Ethereal Shroud, Succumb, Fluistarar, Sadness, and Plebeian Grandstand.
You know, kind of interesting. I knew every album on the list. But
yeah, me too. Actually, I haven't listened to Concrete Winds or Ethereal Shroud, but I did know them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're very different albums. Concrete Winds is a grind album, a death grind album, and Ethereal Shroud is like progressive atmospheric black.
Oh, look, I'm sure they're both awesome.
They're both great. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like everything is represented here. This is a very Stereogum list.
Yeah, this is a very democratic list too, because you got like, you got like Funeral Doom headed by Skepticism, which I'm gonna be real, I didn't enjoy that much, but I understand like using that record. You got, this sort of like more modern take on Doom represented with Hood Menace.
Well, also I gotta say, a lot of people really put this album highly this year. I'm kind of
Hood Menace.
Yeah,
I just don't like Hooded Menace, so
I don't know. I don't.
I'm
I
sure
don't
it's
either.
good though.
No, yeah, I've heard the record's also very good, but I'm not
my little Hooded Menace anecdote for the day is I remember like one of my first shows I did on air, I like pillaged my radio station's like metal vinyls, and I was like, oh, Hooded Menace, I've heard they're awesome, and so I just blind played one of their tracks on air, and I was like, geez, that was so boring and went nowhere. And that's been my relationship with Hooded Menace, but I'm sure this record's good if I gave it the time of day. Violet Cold represents sort of more forward-thinking and progressive black metal, which there's quite a lot of nowadays, which is good, and that record's awesome.
Yeah, no, that record is awesome.
Concrete Winds represents like the old head worship that's just done perfectly. Misartham has like the weird like new genre things. Succumb is more forward-thinking death metal. Fluistarar is atmospheric black metal. Sadness is the more emotional end of that spectrum, and then Plebeian Grandstand is just the best record of the year. So yeah.
No, I think it's a pretty good list. I mean, it's very average for Stereogum again, but yeah, I think it totally accomplishes.
I think that's like as far as like Stereogum goes, it's probably like a perfect list. Like there's no like crazy picks where like really, but quite good.
Yeah.
Let me.
Do you want to do the AMG list?
Yeah, we can do the AMG list. I'm whipping out the R metal.
Do the R metal
list because that one is going to be very, very shreddy.
Yeah, I can run through the angry list, including the honorable mentions. Did you listen to the Demoniac album that came out in like February? It's a Chilean thrash metal band.
Oh gosh, no, I have not.
Okay, well they got a bunch of coverage, and the record is pretty good. But AMG put that as one of his ishes. He also had as an ish the new Ruins of Beverast record, the Thule Grimoire, which not for me. Just as their number 10, Diablo Swing Orchestra, with Swagger and Stroll Down the Rabbit Hole at number 10. Not my favorite personally, but I understand the AMG pick of that. Crypta, Echoes of the Souls, number 9. Aphonemer, A Dream of Wilderness at number 8. Illustrium, A Moment to Silence, which actually was a pretty decent tech death album, at number 7. Stardust, Strangers. I don't know about that one, Chief. Number 5, Archspire, Bleed the Future.
That's a surprising one.
That is a surprising take there. Number 4, Black Sites, Untrue. Number 3, Soen, Imperial.
Oh, come on, AMG.
Yeah.
You're better than this.
Yeah. Number 2, Obscura, A Valediction. And number 1, First Fragment, Gloire Éternelle. Yeah, I don't know about that. About most
okay,
of it. I mean,
let's...
it's all very AMG. So, there you go. Like, I'm not surprised one bit to see Black Sites on that list, because every time a Black Sites album gets released, it gets put on the AMG list. I'm not surprised by Soen either, because, I mean,
same thing.
It is exactly that brand of music that AMG likes.
Yeah, well, it's funny because this is AMG himself's list, and this is like exactly what he would make. Yeah. But if you look at like all the other lists, like, I agree with them quite a bit more, and they're all like pretty much what you'd expect. I will say, after hearing all the hate, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to a DSO record, and I'll tell you what, I actually love it. Like, I really enjoy it, not because like I think it's particularly good, but because it's like appropriately dumb in the right ways.
Okay, fair enough.
And like, it's not too like power metal cheese for me.
That makes sense. That's fine. That's fair. I mean, yeah, I've listened to a couple of tracks off it. I can understand. Have you listened to the First Fragment album? No. It's fine. If you like your neoclassical tech death, Sam, that's the album for you.
Shudders. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you should go through every single one of the list. Did they post a collective ones for like all of them?
They did put... Yeah, they put one out here. Yeah, they have the staff top 10 picks here.
Yeah, let's look at that one then, because that's probably like emblematic of the rest of them.
Where is the Discord?
Oh, this just shows all of their lists.
It's got all the lists.
Is there an aggregate one at the bottom?
I don't know. No.
Nope. Well, in that case, probably it's not worth talking about, because I mean, you see a lot of the same records on our list, as well as like a few, like, you know, a lot of records that we are aware of but didn't like quite like, or as well as a lot of like distinctly like editor picks, like, you know, AMG likes weenie power metal, so of course he's gonna like FNMR, right?
Right. Yeah.
But all in all, like, I mean, I like AMG's probably the best metal blog. Like, the amount of reviews they managed to put out is inhuman, and they produce consistently great content, so big props to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what site also produces consistently great content?
Who would that be, Sam?
Definitely not Loudwire.
Dude, I'm just gonna say it out loud. We forgot to put Aggressive Continuum on our list. Because it's on the Loudwire list, but we do not have it on ours.
Okay, so this is just going to be me and Adam shitting on Loudwire for about 20 minutes. Number 45, they have Ice 9 Kills. Okay.
I mean,
look, full disclosure, I was involved with someone who's a big Ice 9 Kills fan. Somewhat recently, and so I listened to this record like 4 or 5 times. This thing is fucking atrocious. It is like the most bog standard take on like post-scene melodic metalcore you've ever heard in your life, and it does nothing exceptional. Like, it's super quiche. The hooks just aren't there. The songs just aren't there, and it sounds like shit. Like, it blows my mind that this thing is incredibly popular.
Yeah, my brother actually likes some songs off this record. I feel about the same as you. Gonna be real.
It's I understand why they're popular, because they can market to simultaneously like teenagers and like people like millennials who were around in the scene days by capturing on like more modern aesthetics and like the post scene aesthetics. But that doesn't mean their music's good at all.
No. No, it's not. I totally agree.
I mean, I've listened to too much Ice Nine Kills for a lifetime, and goddamn, that music's just bad.
Yeah.
Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes cannot say I've ever heard of this.
No.
So
Neither
Royal
have
Blood?
Neither have I heard of them.
Really? Royal Blood
No.
blew up in like 2014 with like a really successful debut on like what's the British major label?
Oh God. Nope. You shouldn't ask me that.
Okay, well, anywho, they blew up. And they're British and they're gigantic over there. They're fairly popular stateside, but as far as like, no one like I don't know. It's kind of like boomer rock.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never listened to this. I probably never will. Rise Against.
Hey, I gotta say, on RYM, not a reliable source, mind you. This record's got a 3.2.
Look, I'm sure it's good if you like Rise Against. That doesn't mean I like Rise Against.
Yeah. You
Employed
don't
to
love
Serve.
the classic tracks? No, yeah. No Employed to Serve either. Nope.
Yeah, not for me. I can't say I've listened to it, but okay. Why? While She Sleeps, all right. So, Loudwire really is just like legally obliged to include all like post glory like scene bands, I guess.
Yep. Måneskin.
What? I mean,
Yeah.
what is this list? I mean, look, I'm sure it's fine if you like incredibly like. I don't want to say corporate rock because that means nothing, but corporate rock.
Corporate rock, yeah.
Bad Flower, Jesus fuck. Okay, not even gonna say anything there. Whitechapel's Kin is like this
The
is
Weird
contender
Album.
for a record, which is just way better than it should be this year.
Yeah, no, this album is rather interesting, actually. I am not a big fan of it still, but I do think that it tackles a lot of ground that I'm glad Whitechapel is exploring.
Yeah, it's like pretty clever. It's like Tool / sludge metal / progressive deathcore. It's done really well for what it is. Like, it blows my mind that Whitechapel of all bands are able to come up with this. So good for them.
Yeah.
See You Space Cowboy. Apparently, this record's way better than the first one.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I can agree with that. Maybe I still can't get into the music that they're turning into.
Well, yeah, I mean, so
but-
they're for the first
Compilation.
I guess, compilation is really just straight up mid 2000s mathcore worship, and since then they've sort of incorporated more elements of like scene core
Oh yeah.
into the, and that's fine. It's not like the scene core stuff means anything to me because I wasn't raised on any of that.
Right.
But I can appreciate when it's done well. Like, and then there are a few singles from this which I've actually listened to quite a bit. And I just, would never mention that publicly. I quite enjoyed like their collaborative EP too. With not that it's particularly good, but it does what it accomplishes quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, it does accomplish what it does well. I can't believe that the new Dream Theater album is right after that.
I honestly, I feel like we're pretty ears to the ground with like stuff. I have not heard a single opinion expressed on the new Dream Theater record. Like, not
Nope.
one.
Me neither.
If that says anything.
I mean,
Actually, I learned Pull Me Under on a guitar like last week, and I was like, you know what? This song isn't even that good. And if this song isn't that good, then none of Dream Theater is that good.
yeah. No,
Like,
I'm
every
listening.
Dream
I'm listening to the first track from this album, and I've heard nothing that I haven't heard in a Dream Theater song
Like,
before.
every song I listen to by Dream Theater is just like a bunch of like okay ideas, like so close to being good and just utterly missing it somehow. Like,
Yeah.
even their best songs, like you listen to Home, right, and you're like, okay, that song's fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
And like then it just has this horrific interlude, like it goes kind of nowhere, or like
Yep.
in Metropolis Part 1, like why they consider the best like prog metal song ever. Like, it has a cool intro and a cool verse, and then there's like an 8-minute solo section that goes nowhere, and then like they whip out a climax that comes out of nowhere and also goes nowhere, and then they have an outro solo. Like, Dream Theater have just never written a good song in their lives, and I assume this new record is nothing but that.
Yep. Ministry, Moral Hygiene.
There's
number 34.
there's literally no way, right?
Yep. And
Yeah.
right after that, everyone's favorite, the number
bro,
Fear
Fear
Factory.
Factory. Okay, honestly, Fear Factory. This record's like way better than it should be.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, it doesn't mean it's good.
No, I still love throwing on Disruptor every now and again, but like, I don't think it's great.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
Melvin's dropped a new record. What?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. Dirty Hunt. Oh no, Miles can. Okay, wow. We're really just name it WVH. Jesus. Oh my God. Stop, please. Just stop. Wait, what? Aaron, dude, how many boomer rock bands can they put on this fucking list?
All
I haven't
of
heard
them.
of any of these artists aside from like the chart numbers they do because I'm not 50 and I'm not,
Nope.
an old white person.
It's all right. Next up, you got Chevelle and Evanescence rounding up the top 25.
Loudwire, you're like, I don't know who's putting the gun to their head and saying, all right, if a band was popular in the mid 2000s, they're on this list. But
It's funny. It's funny because now from here you have Frozen Soul, Exodus, Rivers of Nile, Ginger, and Mastodon wrapping up the top
and
20.
I don't know, I don't agree with any of those picks, but like I understand it, right? It's a
Right.
metal publication. You're gonna include like notable metal releases, and like,
Yep.
look, this Exodus record is horrible. There's no goddamn way
Nope.
that this record should be there. Rivers of Nile, you can make a pretty good argument for why it should be there. I don't think it's great, but I understand it. Ginger, you can make a pretty good argument. I don't think it should be there, but I understand it, right?
Yeah.
Mastodon, I think it's quite good. Makes sense. New Corpse record, obviously going to be on this list.
Yeah.
Quite
It's
good.
and it is a good album.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cannibal Corpse are nothing if not inconsistent. Like,
Yeah.
nothing if... No, I messed
Nothing.
it up. Anyway,
Yeah.
they are a very consistent band. Every single one of their records.
BT Bam.
Bam 2. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of love for the Vola record.
Dude,
I
I don't get it.
Nope.
I've listened to... Like, we really should be the target audience for this sort of thing.
And it's just no. Nope.
Nope.
I don't like a single song on this album.
Me either. Not for me.
Nope. Archspire.
Very surprising. Wouldn't expect that. Silent Planet. What?
Yeah. Silent Planet.
Like, what genre are Silent Planet?
I mean,
Because I've heard progressive punk. I've heard deathcore. I've heard gent. I've heard metal. Like,
well, come on. Let's consult the internet. The world of RYM just says straight metalcore. But I think gent is. I think it's. I mean, I don't know. I think it's gentcore, deathcore,
progressive metalcore. Whatever.
progressive
you wanna call it.
metalcore. It's all that. It's all
Yeah,
that.
honestly, I think like I've never listened to a Silent Planet song. I probably never will. It's just like when I think of them, I think of like their ability to like do like incredibly good merch drops more
Yeah.
than anything else, and I guess good for them. I don't know. I'll never listen to this record. I'm sure it's fine.
Number 14
Era.
era.
I feel the exact same way about this record as I do Fallout, where like I should enjoy it, just not for me. I don't know. It's not great.
Yep.
Converge and Chelsea Wolf, understandable. Sleep Token. I don't think I've ever listened to a Sleep Token song. I probably never will.
Nope.
Trivium and the Court of Dragons. I actually listened to this record because I had to have an opinion on it. It's just bad. Like,
Yeah, it's
I don't
bad.
know, man.
It's not. It's just not good metal, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you're not. Maybe it's just because I actually listen to metal, but like this is for people who think they like metal, but they like butt rock.
yeah, and you know what? That's fine. They have an audience. You're entitled to your opinion, but gosh, it's just not good. And like, I listened to Shogun like quite a bit to understand why people like Trivium, and I get it, right? You know, it's fairly commonly done, and when they write good songs, they write good songs. But gosh, and the Court of the Dragon, it's just not a great record. I don't understand why. I feel like it's not as consistent as their most lauded works, and it's a
No,
little too butt
definitely not.
rocky.
Definitely
well.
not. Yeah.
Gojira Fortitude. I'm surprised this isn't number one given Loudwire because this record sucks ass. We talked about it plenty of times. Listen to our podcast if you want to hear our opinions. Very disappointing.
Yeah.
Architects. I'm surprised we didn't do just a full Architects like shit on cast because I think this record is horrible.
Yeah, no. For those who wish to exist, it's just absolute dog shit. Architects,
Honestly, though, I think it's probably better than their most recent record because like that record is like it's like what melodic metalcore, whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
Just the metalcore choruses, all that shit. For those who wish to exist is like at least like kind of has some interesting moments. It's just not good.
no.
And once again, it blows my mind the amount of like auto-tune and vocal processing they use for Sam Carter's vocals because the dude's an amazing vocalist. If you listen to him live, he's perfect. He's incredible. So the fact that like they literally pitch all of his screams and like douse his clean vocals, which are good on their own, and like endless layers of auto-tune just kills me. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, I wish I could give you an answer, but no, yeah. He is talented, but no, it doesn't save it.
No,
This album's poop.
Halloween.
Also poop.
Yeah, look, if you like power metal, I'm sure this is good. I can't listen to this record.
No.
I just can't.
I
I
tried.
tried once. I can't.
I tried. I just
Holding
I can't.
Absence? What?
I don't even know.
Never heard of this band in my life. The Pretty Reckless? What the actual fuck? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's all right. You got Iron Maiden after that, Sam.
I've
Number 5.
I've heard pretty universally that Senjutsu is just disappointing from every possible source. If you're an Iron Maiden fan, I'm sure like it has one or two good tracks, but it's just not great.
Yeah.
Number 4. Okay, Limp Bizkit still sucks. Respect.
You gotta respect Loudwire. Hey, you know what? Even Turnstile, glow on.
I mean, dude. Maybe I'll mention this in my write-up, but it's like insane how Turnstile just quietly went from being like a pretty respected like poppy hardcore band to being the biggest hardcore band in the world. Like, I want to know whose dick their like PR team sucked in order to get them on every possible best of list.
Yeah, because it's been
Like,
on every one.
Everyone, even Pitchfork and Rolling Stone.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and to clarify, I don't mean to imply anything misogynistic or about power dynamics. It's just an expression when I say that. Because I mean, look, Glow On is a really good record. I love it. It's really fun. It's really cathartic, and good for Turnstile for being the first hardcore band to fucking play late night. Like,
Yeah. Seriously.
all right, I see Every Time I Die is number 2, which honestly I respect. This is a very good record if you like that sort of thing. And I just know that Spirit Box is number 1 without having looked at this list.
Yeah. No, I mean that.
Like,
This sounds like Loudwire.
This sounds like Loudwire. The thing is, I'm kind of surprised because, like, in the past, I remember like seeing like 2017 Loudwire's list and having them include like Zeal and Ardor and like other bands I hadn't heard of then, like some real underground picks. And so the fact that this year's is just like every popular like rock band of the past 10 years with like Spirit Box as number 1 kind of kills me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's disheartening, but it's Loudwire. I mean, we expect that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, what are we gonna dip our toes in like metal sucks and really feel pain?
I mean,
and anger.
We get dry. I'll see if they even have one up yet.
I'm sure they do. To reiterate our opinion on Spirit Box for like the 15th time, Eternal Blue is a very competent, I guess, progressive metalcore release. If you like that sort of thing, you'll probably like it. In no way is it exceptional. It doesn't have that great of a flow. It's fairly inconsistent, and there are some questionable decisions made about, once again, auto-tuning Courtney LaPlante's vocals because she's a phenomenal vocalist and does not need pitch correction on every conceivable line. But it is a fine record.
So they did a podcast, and I'm not going to go through and listen to the podcast and look at the podcast, but they did do a reader poll on Metal Sucks.
Oh gosh, I guess that's fairly emblematic of like what the broader metal listening.
So that number 1 for them is Every Time I Die. Number 2, BT Bam. Number 3, Mastodon. Number 4, Gojira. Number 5, Carcass.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
I mean, I don't agree with all of it, but it's not bad.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. You know, metal 2021. It's been a year.
I'll check. Let's check Invisible Oranges because I know they'll have a great list.
No.
I'll-
How do they come out with an aggregate list? Do they come out with an aggregate list?
Yep, they come out with one aggregate list, and I'll post it.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, put it in the Google Doc.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, all right. Whoa.
Ooh, ah, ah, ah,
Bum, 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 bum.
Gone Mage is number 20.
Okay, hold on. Gone Mage, kind of sick. The EP, the first record is pretty sick. I gotta say. I wasn't too into the album, Sudden Deluge, but Mystical Extraction has me.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like a pleb because I've only listened to about half of these records.
Really?
Yeah, I have listened to Gone Mage, Ghastly, Lucifer, Wheel, Still Bearing Hand.
You don't need to listen to any of those.
Herzl, Stormkeep.
You listen to Kek Direct, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
I mean, look, this is a great list. This is about exactly what I'd expect out of a pretty legitimate underground metal blog.
Yeah.
Shout out to Old Nick.
Dude, shout out to Old Nick.
Dude, Old Nick is perfect. I love it so much. I'm so glad it exists.
Yeah. I'm impressed with Gone Mage. I am also impressed with Tara, and I know the album blew up this year, but still.
Shout out to Tara. That record's stupid.
Yeah.
Shout out to
it's funny
these picks are pretty understandable. Of course they'd pick Rivers of Belvast. Of course they'd have Hood Menace, Dungeon Serpent, Circle of Ouroboros, Worm, and Lamp of Murmur is number 1. I still haven't listened to Lamp of Murmur. I'm sure it's great.
The record's really good.
Look, I believe it. I mean, all in all, it's a pretty good list. I'm fairly happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. I don't know what else is there to cover, Sam.
Do we want to take a brief look at metal news, or do we like our lives a little too much today?
We could. I know Ted Nugent's complaining about something. He always is.
Woo.
Well, hold on. There's an album coming out on Friday.
Wilderun? Well, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can edit this podcast before Friday.
What? Yeah, no, but that'll be cool.
Yeah, Dying Fetus recording a new album. That's cool.
Here, let me look on the news.
The news.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much.
Yeah, I might as well look at this. Apparently, the Coal Chamber bassist is missing.
I did see that.
Hopefully, she's okay.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Let's see. Oh yeah, Meshuggah postponed a tour too with Converge, which we are both gonna go see.
Yeah, Converge dropped off the bill too completely.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're not even on the reschedule.
Damn,
it's just Meshuggah now.
See, I've already seen Meshuggah once, and I like Meshuggah, but I don't know if I like them enough. You know?
Yeah. No, Converge was honestly the reason I wanted to go to that show.
Yeah, Converge is one of those bands you'll just always see live because they're great, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did literally nothing happen in the past 3 weeks?
No.
Anything?
Guess not.
Oh, 12-Foot Ninja's vocalist left.
Oh.
I guess that's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
You already talked about Alexis SF Marshall.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. Yeah,
Let's see.
I don't know if there's anything.
We really. If you ever wanted proof that metal news should just cease to exist, I guess this past month is it.
This is a good example of why.
Well, in other news, the person editing or the person listening might have noticed that we had a new intro song.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the band that me and Adam are definitely not both a part of dropped a black metal EP last week.
And in fact, if you'd like to listen to it,
No, I mean, look, if
Fuck you.
they've found this, chances are they can find out what band we're in. It's not hard.
no. But yeah, no. New year, new stuff, new podcasts. Maybe we'll even finish listening to Opeth at some point.
Jesus, dude, I've listened to Sorceress and Incata Venom enough to finish this thing. So please just let's kill it.
Yeah, let's kill it.
Let's smother it in its bed, please.
So
And I mean, I think my surprising opinion is that Sorceress is better than I remember, and Incata Venom is quite good.
Yeah, that's about right. But we'll talk about Opeth at a later date. For now, this has been the PM Metal Guide podcast.
Yep, I've been Sam.
I'm Adam.
Another year, another dollar.
Oh yeah.